Hello guys, good afternoon and you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Olivia. If you're just seeing me for the first time, thank you, welcome. I'm a Nigerian migrant who lives here in South Africa with my family, and I make various content. I'm sure you will like it on this channel. Please do well to hit on the subscribe button. That's if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, and when you do, hit on the bell sign. That's where you'll be notified of my subsequent videos. Okay, and yeah, to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and please give this video a thumbs up, share, and like if you like this video. And without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you everyone. In today's video, we'll be talking about Chidima Vanessa Onwa Adeshina, who was a Miss SA contestant. And at the time of making this video, obviously the pageant has come and gone. That was the pageant that was just concluded last Saturday here in South Africa. It's the Miss SA 2024. Okay, so let me just say a brief history about Miss Chidima. Why I'm actually saying this is I'm a Nigerian who lives in South Africa. Okay, and I always talk about South Africa, Nigeria. If you know, you know. Okay, so some of my subscribers came and they were like, Olivia, I want to hear your take on the saga, because it was a bit controversial between Miss Chidima, the contestant, South Africans, Nigerians, and a whole lot of people. So hence the subscribers wanted to hear my take, and some other subscribers also came on that comment and said, Olivia, as much as we would like to hear your take, this is quite a controversial topic and it's hot at this point in time. We would rather you wait, let those pageants come to an end before you say what your views or your opinions are. That way emotions have died down and things have settled a little bit. And I'm like, that's actually very true. So at this point in time, the pageant has come and gone. The Miss SA 2024 has come and gone, and here is my take. Okay, so with having said all this, I do not want anybody to take this video personal. Nigerians, please do not take it personal. The South Africans as well, do not take it personal. Miss Chidima and whoever is involved, don't take it personal. It's just my opinion, and my opinion doesn't even make much difference anyways, because the pageant has come and gone. Okay, so but yeah, and this video is not to also disclaimer, this video is not to bring down any country, not Nigeria, my country, where I come from, where Chidima comes from. We're not South Africa, where I live, where Chidima comes from as well, according to the whole thing, and not any party at all. Okay, so yeah, that having said, let's talk about Miss Chidima. So Miss Chidima is a contestant for the Miss South Africa 2024, and it said that she comes from a Nigerian South African descent. Okay, so as things unfolded, it said that her dad is a Nigerian and her mom is a South African, though from the Mozambican descent. Okay, so hence she's a South African, and she was born in South Africa. She has a South African ID and everything that qualifies her, at least in paper, to become a South African. That is the only criteria she was able to get involved in the Miss South African pageant. Okay, so it happened that at the end of the day, while she was progressing in the pageant, South Africans, if you don't know the story, for those that don't know the story, okay, so for those that don't know the story, so it happens that as Miss Chidima progressed, she became controversial. A lot of people had different opinions about her entry in the Miss SA 2024. Some people were like, especially South Africans, were like, okay, why is she in the pageant? And they began to write a petition on social media. This petition that you can sign if you don't want something to happen and all that. They began to circulate that petition, and that petition rose to a very reasonable extent. That's why the power of social media. It rose to a very reasonable extent. The petition was for Chidima to leave the Miss SA contest 2024. South Africans say that they don't want her in the pageant. So what's my take on this? That's actually the essence of this video. What's my take on this? I don't have much take. It has come and gone, like I said. So however, I have my opinions, what I think generally. So I have something to say about the pageant, the organizers of the pageant. I have something to say about Chidima. I have something to say about what she did right and what she would have done if I'm to advise her. I have something to say to South Africans, or and I have something to say to Nigerians. Okay, that's how I'm going to kind of break down this video, so it will be a bit organized. So my first take is about the pageant. I want to talk about the pageant in the sense that before Chidima Vanessa got involved in this pageant, before she was able to contest in this pageant, I assume that the Miss SA organizers, there are criteria that qualifies a contestant to be able to go into the pageant and contest. So I assume, from what I read, not assume actually, from what I read, I noticed that Chidima has the South African national ID, which is one of the criteria, and she is a citizen because her mom is a citizen of South Africa, although her dad is a citizen of Nigeria. So it happens that although Chidima is dual citizen here in South Africa, she was born here in South Africa, she was raised in South Africa, and need I mention that, yeah, she is a law student and she's actually 23 years old. She's currently in school studying to become a lawyer. So yeah. So with the pageants, I want to say that what I have to say about the pageant, since there are criteria that will allow somebody to be involved in the Miss SA pageant, and I assume, or I will say that maybe Miss SA organizers were not actually wrong to admit her into the pageant, being that she met all the whole criteria that qualified her to be involved in the Miss SA pageant, which some of those criteria were to be that you have to be a South African citizen, maybe you have to be a certain height or within a certain age bracket, and you have to have the South African national ID, and you have to be female. And yeah, so I think when it comes to the pageants, they made sure she had that, and she had that in paper, so I wouldn't fault them. However, let's come over to Chidima and her South African nationality. Okay, one thing I will say is that, yeah, very pretty girl, I must say, very, very beautiful girl, just as pretty as other contestants in the Miss SA pageant. She's actually a very pretty girl, and other contestants, at least the few I saw, are beautiful. Very, very, most of them are beautiful ladies, so I must commend her. Beautiful and brave girl as well. Okay, so when it comes to wanting to be a beauty queen, I will say that I'm sure she has always aspired that. She has always aspired to be a beauty queen right from when she was a little girl, because these things don't just happen. You have to have the aspiration and the dream, and you work with your dream. Okay, so her contesting for the Miss South Africa pageant, will I say she is wrong to contest for the Miss South African pageant? I wouldn't necessarily say so, because one thing about life is most things are not under your control, like things like where you're going to be born into, or the family that you're going to be born into, or the nationality you're going to be born into. Okay, so I will say that it's not her fault that she is born into this kind of situation where her dad is a Nigerian and her mom is a South African but from Mozambican descent. Okay, so I will say that it's not her fault. So it's her dream to want to become a beauty queen. Is it valid irrespective of the fact that she came from this kind of background? Yeah, her dream is still valid, but the fact that she was born here is now the only place she has to make sure that her dream comes to pass is either here in South Africa or Nigeria, but mostly here in South Africa, because remember, she was born here and she was raised here in South Africa. So that's what I have to say about that. Is her dream valid for wanting to become the Miss SA? Yeah, her dream is valid irrespective of her unique situation, her parents and all that. Okay, so she saw herself as a South African citizen, and she saw that, oh, I'm beautiful, I want to be a beauty queen, I want to be the next Miss SA, and she pursued her dream to become that Miss SA. So that's what I have to say about that. However, sometimes your dream, a lot of things can happen and your dream may not come true due to your own unique situation. Okay, hers was a very really unique situation in the sense that she is a Nigerian and partly Nigerian and partly South African. Her mom is actually not, from what I think her mom naturalized here in South Africa, but she is from Mozambique. So South Africa and Nigeria has this unique relationship. I don't know how to say it other than that. South Africans love Nigerians and Nigerians love South Africans. Let me just put it that way. We have this kind of you know. But however, yeah, so her situation was quite unique, I would say. So that's what I have to say about that. Okay, now, so I would say she did the right thing by going after her dreams, you know, wanting to become the new beauty queen, irrespective of, you know, Martin Luther King said I had a dream. Okay, everybody is within their right to pursue their dream, irrespective of their unique circumstances and their situations. Okay, I would just liken her situation almost like my children. I would, not necessarily, because me, I've not naturalized, my husband has not naturalized, and we are not going to naturalize, and we are not naturalizing anytime soon. However, a child that is born in a place definitely sees the place as has, and especially when she now has an ID and she has a mom who has claimed or who has naturalized in South Africa. So she dared to go into the pageant irrespective of the situation she has at hand. So yeah, that's what I can say about that. However, let me talk about South Africans and how they took it. Okay, first of all, South Africans, we are questioning the fact that she is not South African. In paper, I will say, according to the laws of South Africa, you know, as much as the law is the law doesn't work by emotions. Okay, there are things that will make somebody a South African, and whatever it is made her a South African. She was born here, her mom naturalized, irrespective of the backstory that later came out, which I'll talk about briefly. But her mom as at the time that the petitions were coming in, you know, it happened that she is a South African citizen, and yeah, that's on paper she is. Okay, but in the mind of the people, South Africans are unique in their ways. Okay, I'll just say it that way. And South Africans have not gotten to, they are still like every other African country, in the sense that how we reason, how we protect our own, how we are not yet like the West. We are not yet South Africans are not yet like the West in terms of acceptance and all that. They are still getting there. They may get there and all that. So let me just say, for instance, they are not yet like America. If it's in America that you naturalize, or your parents naturalize and you are born, obviously you are an American, and you'll be able to freely participate, and nobody will question your nationality, in the sense that you have everything and you're seen as an American. But in South Africa, they are not yet there. They may get there, who knows, I don't know, but they are not yet there. Hence they acted the way they did. Will I say the way they acted towards Chidima is the right thing? No, not necessarily. I don't care about that. However, I do not condemn them, because you act within your confines of your knowledge and where you are as a society, as a person. Am I trying to justify anything? No, I'm not trying to justify anything, and I'm not trying to accept anything, rather, but I'm just trying to say that they are still within the confines of what they think is right, who they think will be able to represent them, and who they think they are, you know, they've accepted, or how the culture still is. Okay, South Africa has not gotten to the stage whereby they just accept, you know, foreigners and assume all foreigners have naturalized. Even if you naturalize, you might naturalize in paper, but maybe the acceptance, they're still working on the acceptance. Let me just put it that way. So hence they acted the way they did. Okay, so that's what I have to say about that. That's my take on that. And the only thing is that it was actually working against the young lady's, you know, dream. But however, I want to also believe that in this life, whatever will be. If she is meant to be a beauty queen, maybe she'll go and she's already in Nigerian, she can go and contest in Nigeria, or maybe if she naturalizes in any other country in the future, she can, who knows, I don't know how that will play out. However, it was only natural for her to start her dream of being a beauty queen here in South Africa, because this is where she knows as home first, before Nigeria. I don't even know how affiliated she is with her Nigerian side, you know, because obviously she's born here, she's been raised here. It's just like comparing my children, how much they know about Nigeria and South Africa. They know that we are Nigerians, and you know the backstory. However, they know more about South Africa today. Yeah, that's it. So it's valid for her to have wanted, you know, to start here. However, her parents, let me go to her parents. I don't know how the dynamics of her relationship, her parents, the family, how the family played out, but I don't know if parents advised her right to contest, knowing the unique situation of Nigeria and South Africa. That's my point. Knowing that South Africa is still upcoming when it comes to, you know, accepting maybe black foreigners, and you know, they're still a work in progress, I would say so. So I don't know if it was wise in the part of her parents to encourage her dreams to become the next Miss South Africa, knowing the unique situation. But I guess it was a leap of faith, seeing that, okay, try it out and see where that takes you. Maybe it can be a situation of, oh, they talk to her, oh, don't do this, and she said, no, I'll do it, or whatever. Try. If it works for you, good. If it doesn't work for you, fine. So that's what I will say about that, about her parents. But if I were to be her parents, will I have encouraged her, knowing where South Africa is at this moment? At least I'm talking about this moment. I would have probably have equipped her, told her the likelihood of you not being accepted because of your unique dynamic, like the way you are. You're from Nigeria, you're from Mozambique, you're from South Africa, those whole, yeah, that's, I would have probably advised her against it. But I'm not her parents and I don't know how their family dynamics work. Okay, so that's about that. Let me talk about Nigeria. So Nigerians on the social media space, how it is, a lot of banters were going on, and a lot of things. Nigerians were like, oh, how dare you South Africans not allow Chidima to contest? I mean, she's one of few people, you people are this. But however, my dear Nigerians, come closer, okay? Remember, last year during the elections in Lagos, one of the contestants was a Yoruba person from the West, and just because his mom was from the Igbo part of Nigeria, the East, you guys were saying that he was half Yoruba and half Igbo, and you people are not going to allow him to be the next governor of Lagos because he's half Yoruba. He's not fully Yoruba. Is it not the same thing that is playing out? So this is a situation of what calling kettle black, according to the social media users. So a lot of social media users pointed out, so there are two sides of, oh, why not allow her become the next Miss SA, and the other party we are saying, oh, did you remember what happened? So I will say that yes, I think generally Africans are generally very possessive of their territory. Will I call it tribalism? Maybe. Whatever you choose to call it, whatever name tag you choose to call it. What played out in Nigeria I would even consider much more serious, because this is a situation of the same country, and you people are saying because his mom is from this part of Nigeria, he will not be a whole governor. We are like a whole governor and his mom is Igbo, so yeah, South Africans say because she's Nigerian, she's of Nigerian descent, she should go to Nigeria and contest, and she can't represent them, she won't be the next Miss SA. They signed this petition and say she should step down, okay? And yeah, okay, so as events began to play on, like you all know, if you don't know, her mom, it happened that I don't know what they are talking about, fraud and citizenship. Anyway, that's not the bone of contention, because her being kicked against because of her being a contestant was already playing out before other things. They started investigating her family and all that. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. But let me talk to Miss Chidima or her parents or whoever that will be in this similar situation in the future. What I think I would have done differently if I were her was that, since she has been nursing this feeling of being the Miss SA, and she has this Nigerian parent and this South African parents from parent, she would have probably, while she started contesting, or before she started contesting, she would have projected whatever her South African name is. I want to believe that she has a South African name, right? Because I can see her name is Chidima Vanessa Onwe Adeshina. Okay, so Chidima is an Igbo name. I don't know. Adeshina is a Yoruba name. So I don't even know where her dad is from. If she's answering both Yoruba name and Igbo name, I don't know where her dad is from. But since her mom is Mozambican and South African, and she was born here in South Africa, I believe she would have a South African name. But if she didn't have a South African name and her parents encouraged her to nurse this feeling of being the next Miss South Africa, I think that would have been a little bit of an oversight or a mistake in the part of her parents. But if she had a South African name, or if she has a South African name, I felt that at the point where she was nursing this feeling, or she wanted to register for the Miss South Africa, and she would have brought out her South African name, added it to her Igbo name or whatever. Since you want to project being South African and being Nigerian, okay, that I don't know if it would have changed the mind of the people of South Africa, but I guess it would have giving her a little bit of acceptance. I don't know, I'm not sure, but at least it will project her South African side, and when South Africans see it, they'll be like, okay, Lindiwe, you guys know I like the name Lindiwe. Okay, Lindiwe Adeshina. Oh, okay. Oh, she's Nigerian. Oh, okay, and she's also Lindiwe. Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe it would have, it would have pacified South Africans a little. Who knows? I'm not sure. I'm just saying out there. So in this kind of situation, I remember when we were in primary school, there's these Ghanaian kids that were born in Nigeria, in my community where we were studying. It was when we were growing up and we were in secondary school, we knew that they were Ghana. One was, sorry to call your name if you ever come across this video in your lifetime. One was Oninyechi, the other one was Ebere, the other one was Uchechi or something. Then they were answering Igbo names, Igbo Nigerian names, and we are answering their Ghanaian surname. Okay, so as kids, we just played with them as our peers. So that gave me an insight when I was having my kids. Not only that it looked good, the aesthetics looks good, but it calls for more acceptance even with your peers. They actually went by their Igbo names. We used to call them, that was what they answered. They said, let me just say Oninyechi Akos or something. Let me just put it that way, a Ghanaian surname. Okay, so they literally went by the Igbo name. So it gave them a lot of acceptance. We related with them like normal Igbo kids. Because I don't know if it was because of their name, but it does something to your side. Just like I gave birth to my kids and I gave them South African name. Though they don't go by their South African name every day, but it's in their birth certificate, it's anywhere official for them. So my children, let me just put that there. Of course, my children will not come and contest for Miss SA, okay? But if it was a situation whereby they need to bring out their South African name, I guess she would have just easily brought out her South African name and be like, oh, Lindiwe Adeshina, and oh, okay, Miss, because some of the concerned people we are saying is, what culture was she going to represent? Okay, so what culture was she going to represent? That was some of the South Africa, because South Africans are very big in culture. They would have been much more tolerant, I guess. Not all. Just would have piped down the heart of some people. Chidima, if you can take my advice, project your South Africanness if you still want to do things that relate to your South African. I want to applaud her parents for also giving her an Igbo name and her answering her Igbo name with pride. Chidima, I want to believe that her dad, who is the Nigerian parent, did that because since she was born in South Africa, she's been raised here. He wants to also give her that sense of identity. Okay, you're also Nigerian, but since she was coming out for this massive, pageant of Miss South Africa, they would have introduced her South African name. Let it come to play. Let them know her with it as well. It would have probably piped down the mind of people. I don't know. I'm just saying, that's just a speculation. That's the only thing I have to say about that, actually. And but the social media banter, Nigeria, South Africa, is a normal thing. It has always been there. However, it's so sad, how the whole thing played out. But I also want to applaud her for the fact that she knew when to step down. There's always time for everything. There's a time that, okay, at this point in time, let me take a bow. At the end of the pageant, before the final pageant, she stepped down willingly for her, social media, there are a lot of trolls, there are a lot of very mean people on the social media space. I'm sure she got a lot of backlash, her family got a lot of backlash, and the wisest thing to do was to step down when she stepped down. Her parents, I'll applaud her, and herself, I think is a good thing. It's not, she didn't do it that she's giving up her pageant aspirations, but at the time, it's good to step down and see how things play out. And with her mom and everything that was dug out, and I'm not a party to that. Like, I'm all for doing things in the right way. So that's all I have to say about that, actually. With the Nigerian part of it, Nigerians had a lot of things to say on the social media space, but I just want to say, Nigerians, you guys have seen anybody that is being tribalistic as a Nigerian, you see how it feels to be rejected because of one reason or the other. It doesn't feel good, actually. Am I condemning South Africans? Not really. I won't come and condemn. Anyway, the pageant is gone anyway. I'm not condemning, and neither am I applauding. And it's actually good to be wise and know when to step in. South Africa has not gotten there yet. If you know the society, you know that they've not gotten there, and it will be very difficult for such a person to be allowed, especially from Nigerian descent, to be allowed. They may be allowed, you know, every other your normal life and normal go about your daily life and do just normal things, but not being in the hem of affairs. Miss South Africa is the highest pageant kind of, you know, situation in the country, and they were also worried that she would be the one to represent them in the Miss Universe. So yeah, if she still wants to pursue her career, I think she can go to Nigeria and see if that will work for her. But that's it. Their worries I'm not dismissing, and her pain actually, as for the fact that she got to this place and it played out this way, I'm not dismissing, but it is what it is. We are still, everybody is a work in progress. South Africa is a work in progress. Nigerians are a work in progress, because we have this played out last year in the election, and his mom is an Igbo person and his dad is a Yoruba, and they were like, he's not full Yoruba. So Africans, I think we should do better in terms of being tribalistic. We are still a work in progress, but let's do better, and if we have to. That's actually my take on this. I don't know how this video turned out, but the Miss SA has come and gone. But I feel as though if you are a migrant in an African country and you want to really integrate properly, will that help you? Who knows? I'm not sure. But did Chidima integrate? Maybe she integrated in other parts of being a South African, but when it comes to, you know, the name part, I feel she would have just introduced her South African name, or that's if they gave her a South African name in the future, and probably do other things to show that she would have been a good South African Miss South Africa, because that girl was really beautiful, or she is really beautiful. She could have won. Who knows? I don't know. But she still have the chances to win. She's just 23. Her life is just starting. God will help her. If she's destined to win, she may win it any other way. And yeah, it is what it is. That's my take. And yeah, like we know, a lot of some celebrities in South Africa supported her, and we are like saying, okay, Chidima, she's a bona fide South African. Yeah, I would say she's a South African if you ask me, because the laws of the country stated that if you have an ID, if your mom is from South Africa, you're a South African. So I would say on that basis she's a South African. But is she really a South African? Yeah. How does she really feel? Has she really integrated? I don't know. I know that we are all a work in progress. Yeah, that's my take on it. Share your thoughts with me. I may do a live stream, and people will come and say what their take is in a real live stream. Well, if you guys want a live stream on this topic, we'll probably have it. But share your thoughts with me. Tell me what your thoughts are. Like I said, I'm not doing this video to bash Nigeria or dismiss the feeling of Chidima or the feeling of the people of South Africa or the feeling of the people of Nigeria. This is just an opinion. This video doesn't make it's not that serious, it's not that deep, so nobody should take it to heart. Thank you so much. Subscribe, share, like, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.